see like dates like up here, 1989, 1998. There's a few more here, like even this has like a little bit of like a liquidiness towards the top that you can still see. And that is so gross. Alright, hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today Sonny and I are exploring an amazing hospital that we actually did a massive road trip just to get to. This place is the true definition of everything left behind. Super excited to take you guys through, show you all of the rooms that are here. A lot of medical stuff really left behind here. They did not come back to get rid of anything when this place closed in 2001. With that being said, I think we gotta get right out into it and just check this place out. So let's go ahead and see what we can find. Alright, we're starting off in one of the patient rooms. Actually still fairly clean considering this place closed a decent while ago. And really eerie to see all the sheets still laying on the bed. This place didn't have that many beds. It was more of like a small scale hospital just for like the local community. So it definitely has that feel to it, but there is a lot of cool things to see, so I just want to keep heading on around and show you guys what else we have discovered so far. And we have another patient room. This whole hallway is kind of just patient rooms. A lot of medical stuff actually all over the floor. I just want to say this right now, there's going to be so many medical things here that are left behind. It's probably going to blow your mind. These are the places I was saying actually to Sonny that like I've dreamt of to explore. So this is just like a small taste of what actually is left. This is just one little fraction of it. But it's almost going to be frustrating in a way to know how much these people, this hospital left when they closed down. I also just really like all of the signage they got around here. Drown in germ, wash your hands. And there's also one over here, I guess for all the rooms, so if a patient was getting bathed, they would have this thing outside, stop, bath in progress. Actually kind of really like this hallway. And I noticed that there is a security mirror, which I've mentioned in quite a few of my videos by now, so you guys probably know the gist about these and what they were for. Basically just kept any of the employees safe, made sure that they had full visibility of everything in the hall, kind of to protect them from maybe patients who were a little bit confused or dazed or more violent, a lot of things like that. But always cool to see it, and there's a little tidbit if you didn't already know what they do. Alright guys, so this is the physical therapy room. There's kind of a lot of stuff to make sense of in here. So I'm gonna kind of take it bit by bit and give you guys a better sense of what's going on in here. So first things first, there is going to be a lot of medical supplies in this room, as you can tell. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna say these similar things that I've always said, or they've always commented on my videos or my TikToks. It's just that this is really frustrating to see all of this stuff. Look at this, just all of it going to waste. And knowing that, you know, at one point this was all viable, that so many people could have used these things, and instead they're sitting in here in a place where they're getting admired by me, and now they can't be used, can't be donated because it's no longer safe. You see things like gauze here. Packs of gauze still sealed. I think there's some collection sample tubes. A lot of these things look more like dressings, bandages, that type of stuff. But still, it's just really fascinating to come across that. Petroleum dressings on the ground. I feel like that looks like something you like use on your foot after like breaking it or something. There are some more things over here. I'm not really too sure what this is. I think it helps people get lifted out of their beds if they cannot stand up on their own. You can see it is mobile. It's wheelable, so you probably could wheel it into certain patient rooms if they needed this. Again, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but I believe these two little strap sections would probably hook under like some sort of bed sheet or something that could, you know, be underneath the patient and help lift them up. And kind of do like maybe either like a bed transfer, say if they needed to transfer over to like a gurney or something to get over to maybe like the surgical suites, something like that. Maybe that could be potential for use for this, but no, it's just getting stored in here and collecting dust. And finally, the thing that probably caught my attention the most in this room are these little, I guess, hydrotherapy tubs. It feels weird, like me and Sonny were talking about how it doesn't really feel like it would make sense that these were in here, but it is true that aside from hydrotherapy being used in asylums, you would also use them just in general to help people with like muscle related issues, and it helps with circulation. So there are other benefits aside from just the traditional hydrotherapy that was used on asylum patients regarding mental illness. But you can't help but like look at these and think that it gives you that similar vibe, because I've seen ones in asylums, abandoned asylums, that have this exact same style. So it kind of just took me off guard for a second. This one's super small. We were saying maybe it was like, almost looks like kitty size. Like I don't see how a regular sized human being could fit in here, comfortably at least. So, and I believe that these were the ones that would be kept at a certain temperature, like a therapeutic temperature. So there's a little temperature gauge there. You actually see on top of it, try not to trip, it says hydrotherapy unit. So it definitely was hydrotherapy, just I guess a different version. And there's the gauge for this one that would show the temperature. You can see on the top it would be like scalding. Let's hope they didn't keep it up on that level. I'm not sure if this is just me, but I feel like this seems like an extra wide walker. It might not appear that way on camera, but just in person it just looks way bigger than other walkers I've seen. I don't know. Maybe it was like for a larger patient. Maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just me. So as you guys can see by this little fridge clip, we are in the pharmacy. And the exciting thing to me about this, so it seems like there are a lot of antibiotics left and a lot of different types of medications, a lot of which I don't really know the full extent of what they do. As you can see, they all used to be stocked up on these shelves with little, I guess, maybe barcodes that they would scan if they were given to a patient or something like that. You can see there's just all strewn about everywhere. Here, some of these would have like weird type of like lids. There's a few different types of needles to administer these kind of medications. Some of them are still just like in torn open, like, you know, fresh boxes, like they just, you know, just got here in like a shipment. This I thought was actually really cool. Most people know this, lidocaine can numb you. I don't know if this is specifically for, I guess it's up top, cardiac arrhythmia, so it might not just be lidocaine, like, you know, if you go to the dentist, it might be a different strength than the lidocaine you would get there. But man, it's crazy to just see all of the different barcodes, all the different names, all the different things they had here. I mean, of course they had like everything here. All the section, even up here, you can see all of these up here were different types of anesthesia, which of course, you know, we're gonna get to the surgical suites later, and then we'll see how, you know, the medications here, you know, would have been brought all the way over there and helped out the patients when they were getting surgery. Even here you can see there's more lidocaine. I forget what atropine does. I feel like I've heard about it on, you know, Grey's Anatomy. It makes me feel like I'm a real doctor or something, but either way, you can see expiration on that box is 2002. This one said 2001. I don't want to dig around here, Sonny was saying, but, you know, be careful, because you don't know, you know, with all of the, you know, needles that are used here to draw these medications, you want to be careful that you're not sticking yourself, and still being careful, because we don't know if all of this stuff is sanitary, and it's probably not, so better to be careful. Here, as you guys can see, there are some of the needles that they would use to draw some of these medications, because these little vials, what you have to do is actually push the needle through the top to get and pull up the liquid medication. I mean, I'm pretty familiar with this just because I've gone to get allergy shots a bunch, and so I watch them every single time draw it. You know, they poke that needle right through the bottle. To be honest, I don't really understand how that works, but I don't need to worry about that, so. But, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here, little things. I don't even know what these are. Don't want to knock that over. I'm trying to be gentle. Huge bottles. Some of these are huge. Look at this one. Full of medication. And again, this is where it gets really frustrating. How could they have left this all? How is it ethical, safe to leave this all, you know? It kind of is concerning in a way, to wonder if all the procedures were being followed at this hospital, especially when it shut down and did close due to bankruptcy. So I don't know if there was any reason behind that and why they left so much, or if they just didn't care, and once it closed they said no one's coming back, no one's taking anything, no one's removing anything, and that's just what it's going to be. Oh my god.
never did. I only saw it in like movies.
Yeah, so Sonny is, if you guys can see, he has a little syringe and he's pulling up medication from one of these old, who knows if it's antibiotics or something else, but please be careful.
I do not want to miss and inject myself. That would be terrifying.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's how it looks. It looks exactly like it does in the movies.
Yeah,
that's
it does.
funny.
You stick it in and you just go whoosh. I learned from TV and movies. It was right.
For once, the movies were right. Alright, so now we are headed towards the probably like medical epicenter, I guess, of this place, you know, where all the heavy duty equipment is. So we are now entering the x-ray machine region, x-ray lab, where, you know, everyone would get their x-rays done. They have the, whatever it is, I forget what material it's made out of, that they would put over the patients to protect them from the exposure to radiation. And actually, all over the ground, you can see that there are x-rays of former patients still here. And this is the stuff that, you know, starts to feel really weird, that they've left this stuff and that they didn't even properly dispose of that kind of medical information of a patient. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at here. I can't tell if it's like vertebrae or if it's like something else. And I think this is actually kind of funny because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is what they would use to help babies get x-rays, because you have to imagine babies don't know that they shouldn't be moving around. They're not gonna, you know, follow cues like that. They have to stay still. So they would put them in something like this, you know, and their arms would be up over their heads, and that would allow them to be kept still throughout the x-ray. And I'm sure they were not the most happy about it. You can probably look up videos and you can see babies being smushed in there, and they look actually really funny, like little sausages. But it's cool to see that here. I feel like this place definitely, like I mentioned earlier, it was a community serving hospital, so they, you know, attended to patients of all ages. Alrighty, so this is where the people or whoever was attending the x-ray machine, they would duck behind it, so Sonny can pretend he's an x-ray technician. And he would be waving at you, he'd be like, just stay still. This won't hurt at all.
This won't hurt.
Yeah, that's what they would do. They'd hang out behind there, and that would protect them from the radiation, because, you know, if you're working as an x-ray tech, you're being exposed to it on the daily. And once your x-ray is taken, they bring it back here. I'm not really sure what this machine does, but I'm sure it has something to do with helping the x-rays develop. And you go even further back in here, and you see ones like unexposed, and they have like these big pieces in there. So they'd have to be protected from the light if they're not exposed, I think, because that could affect the image development. Same thing for these ones, like a little box to keep them dark that says down here, films do not open in light. So you don't want to screw them up, you know, go through all that effort to make or take an x-ray or get a patient down here all for nothing. I'm sure they would not be very happy with you. And then there's this ready box. It says body temp media warmer, and there's all of this medication in here. And I actually pulled out one so you can see. It's like this, like, looks like little syringes made. It's called an OptiTray 320 Loversol injection. It says something organically bound iodine. I'm not sure if that maybe helps, like, track something. I don't know if iodine, no, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong there. I'd have to look this up and see what this was used for, but it must have been something with x-rays. And then over here, further behind, once you go kind of into the x-ray technician's region, there's all types of stuff still left back here, like barium sulfate, which again, I am not the most well versed on what that can do. Syringe, cannula, IV catheter extension, or this one actually just looks like an IV, like an infusion set. This one specifically is probably a certain gauge, a certain thickness. I'm sure there's some other ones down here too. There's just a lot of random stuff. Like this is like more needles. What the heck, man? This is crazy. It's just nuts seeing all of this. And more down here too. It's just, it never ends. I don't think I've ever seen so many medical supplies in one place. I found something that Sonny could actually make good use of. Anti-acid, anti-flatulent. I'm gonna go give this to him and see what he thinks. Sonny, I have something for you.
The candy?
It's candy. I told him you could use it.
Easy gas. You know what? I do need this.
Sonny's just casually over here pumping some iron.
The pumping iron?
Yeah, I guess you can still move this thing. I mean, mine is that one ceiling tile.
Yeah, I'm just sketched out because
you don't wanna...
this whole thing, you're gonna think how much this weighs. I don't know when this like support beam is just gonna give out and this whole thing's just gonna collapse, and you know what I mean?
Alright, we have now entered the ER, and I personally think that this is going to be the best section yet. I mean, this is not even some of the wildest rooms left. This, to me, is a little more subdued compared to what is coming up, so you definitely don't want to miss what is next. Check out that surgical light. That's really cool to see. And the sheets and everything, too. Who knows who were the last patients to be on this bed. Here is the neighboring room. Just look at that cool light. That is intense. That is heavy duty. And here's the patient bed. That'll be in here. So I have other stuff randomly tossed on here. There's some little vials. That looks like it could have been blood tubes at one point. And they even still have some patient x-rays up on the wall. The little yellow tags have like the dates on them, which I'm trying to get close enough to show you guys very well. This one's upside down. I think it says 1986. The other one up there is from 1987. So that's cool to see that they have x-rays dating that far back. Sonny keeps realizing stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw these pedals and I'm thinking in my head, okay, it definitely is for raising the bed up. And I was right. If we just pump this bed up. Let's see how much we can
get it. Ooh, ooh, get it, get it, get it, get it. And then you want to show what it looked like depressed? Like, or I guess depressed. I feel like that's such a weird word to use.
Are you depressed?
No. You know what I mean? Like going down.
I know what you mean. Ready?
Yeah. Okay, that's a really satisfying noise.
I mean, the hydraulics still work amazingly after not being used for 20 years. That is incredible to me.
That's, yeah, really cool stuff. Thank you, Sonia. You always find stuff that I don't. Now over here, there's just a big pile of needles, I suppose. That have just never been used. We're probably, you know, stocked up here at one point just, you know, to administer medications or for other purposes here for the patients. And then just behind it too, there are just bins upon bins of supplies, needles, other things like that. Again, all the stuff I've been mentioning, you know, time and time again while we've been here is just the excessive amount of waste. I'm gonna give you guys another perspective here. Just so much waste, so much. And you just wonder where it all could have gone, you know, if things had maybe played out differently or if donation was considered. It's just hard to, you know, just see it sitting here and not empathize a little bit for all the people who desperately could have used this. And over here we have 2 more beds for patients coming into the ER, maybe awaiting for surgery or post-surgery. Again, very small scale hospital, so we're not going to see a lot of beds in the ER here. They're probably not equipped to handle large loads of patients. Take us a better look at this bed. Super cool to still see this here, and again, just everything still set up just almost in a way like how it would have been when it was open. It really doesn't feel like too much of a stretch other than the decay to say that this place would have looked fairly similar. Just to, you know, see it all so intact almost in a way is very strange, but also very exciting and cool because it's a very unique experience and one of the reasons why I was so excited to come here. Alright, so here we have the surgical suites, surgery suites. So we're gonna go down here and check these out. These were the ones where, you know, when you're thinking of like Grey's Anatomy type situations, people actually having, you know, full-on surgery, they're gonna be in here. rather than in the ER, just kind of getting some basic medical care. So let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so here we are, literally in the thick of it, in the surgical suite. Wow, this is something that I've been wanting to see for a very long time. Granted, this is one of the more decayed ones. As you can see, there is just stuff all over the floor. Ceiling is absolutely falling apart. But still, there's something to appreciate about this, and being able to see something like this with all of the equipment left is just something else. It really is. I'm gonna try my best to not get water dripped on me because there's a lot of leaks right now. I assume this might have something to do with either the patient having something to breathe for them. It says oxygen, nitrous oxide further here on the bottom. And maybe something also to help keep them under, like the anesthesiologist would do, and they would kind of monitor the vitals and things like that to make sure that everything was going smoothly during surgery, because the last thing you want is a patient to wake up. Here's the actual, table itself where the patient would be laying under this absolutely massive surgical light. I have never seen such juicy sized surgical lights, but that is really cool to see. And I came around here initially and I was poking around some all this other stuff on the side here, which I don't really know what a lot of this stuff does. A PowerPoint? No, not like Microsoft PowerPoint, I don't know. But over here I remember seeing this. It's like this bowl, and again, I'm gonna reference Grey's Anatomy. If you've ever watched Grey's Anatomy, then you know that these are usually like the bowls that if they are pulling out debris, or say if they have to remove an organ or something, it usually would go in here. And that's kind of weird to think about. I'm gonna say right now, I do not know what that is in there. It looks very red. I want to say it's betadine, which is like iodine, because it looks kind of orangey, but towards the base of it, it looks extremely red. And then right over here is the section with all of the medical supplies that will be fully stocked in the OR. Also very important things. I saw when I was looking through here, it's like a lot of packaged, medical equipment, like tools that they could use during surgery. There's more up here that I saw packaged here, like OR suction tip. Not too sure about any of these other things. Some other stuff that's like covered in all this blue paper type material. And then here they have like gauze, dressings. This almost looks like for stitching. Not even stitches, but to staple a patient shut. Some other tools. Oh man, it's just crazy to see all of this. Lots of things. Also gonna say I really like the color of this. There's like something about this shade of green. If someone knows the specific shade, please tell me, because I would paint my entire house this. My future home, I could see it. It would be such an aesthetic. And then tucked over here in the corner of the surgical suite is actually all of the sutures, which is, what they use to stitch up the patient. So different types of brands. Vicryl, braided, and there's like different lengths and inches and some things. All stuff I don't really know much about. More Ticron, silk, Neurolon is the one down there. See if I can pull one out here. Here. See, they're all like in little individual packages that you could open up. So here's what it would look like for Vicryl. That's really cool to see. Right back in there. Alright, so here is the neighboring surgical suite, which is very weird considering how decayed the other one is and how intact this one is. But this one is absolutely stunning. Barely anything, kind of like collapsing, no real damage. And kind of something similar on the side here that I think could have been used for anesthesiology to keep the patient under. I have to look up what these are. Vapors, halothane, and isoflurane. I'm gonna take a wild guess that could have been anesthesia medications, like vapors that they could have put into a patient to keep them under, potentially. Another big surgical light, because what else would we expect? And some other machines over here on these two sides. data systems and, you know, stuff that I probably don't know the most about. This one might have something to do with blood though, because it says coagulating power, and coagulating usually refers to like blood clots, so I don't know. And out here is where all of the doctors that would go into surgery would probably scrub in. And again, I'm gonna make a reference again to all my Grey's Anatomy or any medical drama, I guess, really. You know, any medical drama fans out there. The classic, you know, masks that they would put on, they tie above their head and, you know, around their neck. They still have a huge pile of them right here too. So I wanted to briefly show you guys this room because it is kind of just overwhelming to me how many files are left here, and you guys probably already guessed it that it's going to be kind of medical related files. These are all document, like paper kind of holder things that hold all the x-rays of countless patients who once came here. You can see like dates like up here, 1989, 1998. Like some of these trace decently far back, you know, to 2000s when this place shut down. Just concerning to know how much patient information was left here. And imagine all the people who want to access that data and they can't because it's here. These are very real issues that happen to patients in places where their hospitals shut down because a lot of people don't care to forward the medical records properly. And some of those x-rays are actually still placed on this light box, probably either by other explorers or whoever, you know, didn't care to put them away. And like I said, this is just a small little piece of what is left here. Such a small fraction of all of the files that are, you know, on the shelf behind me. It's just insane. Makes you even wonder, like, just this one here. Look like you can see like something in this person's like chest. I don't know if it's wrong for me to assume that it could be like a pacemaker or something else, but like it's just, I don't know, strange to see people's, you know, medical documentation out like this, and just knowing that it's not secure in a proper place is, like I said, very unfortunate, and a consequence of some of these smaller town hospitals that struggle to survive. This is the last room that I wanted to take you guys into. And I'm probably going to start off actually right over here because we have a phlebotomy chair, and that'll kind of lead us into the theme of this room, which is patient blood, which is going to sound crazy, but there actually is sample test tubes left behind in some of these fridges with patient blood samples, and I will show you guys that in a little bit. You can actually see sample test tubes and things like that for, you know, when patients had their blood drawn in here prior to having that put in the fridge, you know. So this is where they would have been. There's like lots of random chemicals everywhere. Over here, there's actually like a whole little bin. It kind of reminds me of when I've gone to the phlebotomist to get blood drawn. You see like their whole little basket full of tubes and everything. There's extra tubes up there too in case you ever run out. But I know you guys are probably curious because I just told you something really nuts, so I'm gonna get right into that. Alright guys, so here it is. This is the fridge with patient blood samples, and it might seem kind of crazy, but it is here. And you know, it's probably a little funky looking. It does smell really bad in here just because these tubes have been sitting here for 20 years. This place shut down just about 20 years ago, and you know, that'll do some funky stuff to blood. I don't know if I'll just, ugh, this feels weird grabbing this. You can see how brown it is towards the bottom. There's actually another one here. You can actually see it has like a slight separation from that like reddish tone to like that really dark color. Then there's a few more here, like even this has like a little bit of like a liquidiness towards the top that you can still see, and that is so gross. And I really should probably clean my hands because wow, you know, but that is just something you can't pass up. I think Sonny said it better. I heard him talking earlier that it's just a once in a lifetime moment to see something like this, at least for us, because I just don't feel like there's so many places that are abandoned that leave this kind of stuff behind. So you can see some more samples up here too, and just wow. That is just absolutely insane to see that left. This is like the stuff that people ask us on, like, you know, our pages all the time. They ask, oh, do you find blood or these kind of samples or anything? Like, that's what people are so curious about, and I guess now we can finally say, yeah, we have. And here's the last blood-related thing. As you guys can see, these are used blood bags. They have this red tinge to them. You can actually see on a lot of them what blood type the donated blood from the volunteer was. Got some O positives. We got a B positive. I'm sure there's some other ones in here too. Probably not the best idea to rustle around in this though. It's just crazy though to see this. It's just, wow. This is like some Vampire Diaries stuff. We were joking about it. Me and Sonny love Vampire Diaries, and it just feels like that right now. I wonder if any of you guys are also Vampire Diaries fans, because it's this just feels like you know, you're in a movie. It doesn't feel real to see this kind of stuff. So wow, this definitely made the Explorer just that much more exponentially cool. All right, so if you can tell by the look on Sonny's face, we are exhausted. He's ready to get out of here. He's been wearing a full-on respirator, and, you know,
mask face.
He has the mask face. He has a little bit of a pressure outline. Yep. But anyways, we really love this place. He was talking about in his outro, we were just, you know, kind of focusing on how amazing this place really is. That we're really grateful, right, to experience something like this. It's like when I first started exploring, like, this is what I pictured it to be like. And, you know, we go to a lot of spots, and it's not always like this. A lot of spots are awesome and cool, but this was like... This is what I dreamed of as an urban explorer. When I first started, and you look at people's photos and how they make it look like you're in a fairy tale or like in a movie, like I think you said that, it just transports you to another place, and this place did that for us. I think this is definitely, like I mentioned earlier in my video, like it's the new favorite, at least for me. I'm a sucker for hospitals, but you know, it's something to appreciate that not every place is going to be like this, and this is one for the books. So with that being said, I think we're ready to get right on out of here. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video right here. I hope you enjoyed exploring this abandoned hospital with Sonny and I. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and of course, like always, I'll catch ya in the next one.